Hi, everyone, and thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Live with RYE. I'm your host, RYE, and I am so thrilled you are joining me. I just want to take a moment to thank you all for your continued love and support. It means so much to me, and I truly could not do this without you. So thank you. I so appreciate it. If you're joining us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel below so you never miss an episode of Live with RYE, and you're helping the channel out as well. And if you're joining us on Facebook, hit that thumbs up and like us on Facebook and leave a little heart. Love us on Facebook as well under this post. I'd appreciate it. And be sure to follow me across social media at RYE the News Guy. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RYE the News Guy. I love hearing from you, and let's continue this conversation. So again, at RYE the News Guy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And finally, you'll see my website scrolling across the bottom of the screen. RYEthenewsguy.com. Head on over there to rewatch all episodes of Live with RYE and to see all of my other exclusive content, including the launch of my new production company, RYE Entertainment. And finally, you'll see my Venmo handle scrolling across the bottom of the screen as well. If you are so inclined, I would love if you would consider supporting the show Live with RYE and my platform, RYEthenewsguy.com. Any amount would mean so much to me, and even a kind word or a little message of support means so much to me. So I truly thank you. And now let's get on with today's show. I'm super thrilled to welcome my two special guests. They've released a new holiday album. Please help me welcome the incredible Marty Thomas and Marissa Rosen. Hello.
Hi, RYE.
Hello, you two beautiful people. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Broadway's two best friends, two incredible people. So Marissa, thrilled to interview you for the first time. And Marty, it's great to talk with you on camera. I was saying to Marissa about a year ago this time, you did my interview Q&A style for your album, your album. So it's great to talk with you.
Yeah, it's nice to be back on the show. I had a great time with you last year. Nice to see you, man.
You as well. So let's get into it. Where did the idea come from to record and release the award-winning holiday album?
As many things have, the pandemic opened a large window of availability for creativity. And I've wanted to do a holiday album for many a year. It's been on my project to-do list. This year I started compiling music and ideas for the album. And I came across a video that Marissa and I had done at Joe's Pub several years ago. We recorded a song from the musical Elf. We had performed it in our friend's show, Amy Lynn and the Gun Show, and her husband, Alex Hamlin, had arranged it. We had such a baller time performing that song, and we got such a kick out of it that I asked her if she would record it with me on my album and guest on it. She said yes immediately, and my ticker started going, and I thought, and started doing a little research and started working on some cover art. And a few hours later, we had a duet album on its way. And I definitely put that ball in motion before telling Marissa it was in motion.
Oh, I love that. That's great. And how about for you, Marissa? What was it like for you to record this?
Marissa enjoyed it very much.
Problems of connectivity issues. That's okay.
She's signing out and signing back in. She's got some internet issues.
Hey, that's all right. That's the way of the world today.
Yeah, Marissa and I, we go back many a year. We are longtime best friends, and we've been performing together a lot. But it is really a joy to have somebody in your life that you have, not just chemistry on the friend level that you can hang out with, but chemistry musically is even harder to come by. So Marissa and I are very much like Sven and Anna, that we finish each other's
sandwiches.
Yep.
Just in time.
We work really well together in the studio, that we can we have a very similar musical sensibility, and we enjoy recording together. So it was, the process of it was fast and furious, but it was fun.
Yeah. So Marissa, did you feel the same way? You really enjoyed it as well, releasing this album? What was it like for you?
I really did. I enjoy performing with Marty anytime, and we have had the opportunity so many times in our career together, but we've never gotten to record anything. And I personally, this was my debut album. So I had obviously recorded songs here and there, but never a full album. And having someone like Marty, who has released so many things and wears so many hats to kind of walk me through it and make it as fun as it was. I was just really, really, really thankful.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so special. What was your favorite song from the album to record for the both of you?
I have a few. My personal favorite was Hard Candy Christmas. I just love that song in general. And then the way we can talk about it at any length, but the way that we got to do it and bring on some of our very best friends, super talents, to do the arrangement that Marty had put together so beautifully was just special. I cried every time I listened to it, and then they made fun of me, but it's fine.
How about for you, Marty?
Hard Candy is definitely a highlight track from the album, as we have a lot of our best friends and special guest artists, just legendary voices, honestly, on it. So it's an honor to have that track on the record, but it was not a fun track for me.
Oh yeah.
For me anyway, as a producer, it was such a blessing that all of the women and the musicians said yes to it. But they were recording literally around the globe to get this song together, and to produce a song that's been recorded in several different studios in several different countries, kind of thing, to sound like it's in the same room is very challenging. So that one was definitely my nail biter in putting the record together. My favorite track to record was our honestly, we had to record this track to fill a glaring hole in the market of the disco Hanukkah bop. It was very important for me in planning this record that if it's going to be a holiday record, it needs to reflect my childhood with Christmas and Marissa's childhood with Hanukkah. So we wanted it to be an all-inclusive holiday experience, and we wanted everything from the artwork to the set list to the vibe of the record to really reflect that, to reflect our inclusive ideals. So it was important to find not only a Hanukkah song, but a Hanukkah song that slaps, so that Marissa could finally have her disco anthem, her disco diva anthem. So I found this old school Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings song that I've always loved. It's like super laid back and R&B holiday song. And I flipped it on its ear and gave it a disco beat and some claps and some whistles. And I definitely had the most fun arranging vocals on that tune, because Marissa can do anything, but it's a song where it not only shows off what a great singer she is, but it shows what a great musician she is, because all the harmonies that you hear are me and Marissa. So it's musicianship, it's vocals, but it's also her unique comedy. That's, I think, what so many people fall in love with when they see and experience Marissa. Right. So like I said, it was important for me to capture her as a singer, but it was really vital that I capture the spirit of Marissa Rosen that people love about her. And that track really has it everywhere.
Oh, well, I can't wait to listen. You mentioned earlier about with Hard Candy Christmas, having to, with recording it and trying to get everyone who was across the globe and getting it all together. That brings me to my question of, what was it like recording this process during a pandemic? You had to deal with Hard Candy Christmas with, those people virtually, but for you and Marissa, how did you record this album and be able to do it virtually, or however you record an album in a pandemic?
There's no one way to record. It's always going to be a unique experience, but in a pandemic, it is exceptionally new because we've never done that before. But as I was getting to a point where I really needed to start creating, and I started thinking I was going to finally do this holiday album I've wanted to do, Marissa and I, if we were going to get together, we needed to get COVID tests and we needed to quarantine. And I've been none-ish during this pandemic. I don't see anybody. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. I haven't been working. I'm just a high-risk, nervous individual. So it was a big deal for Marissa and I to make that sacrifice to get together. Once we went into the studio, which is my apartment, we were on a long-term sleepover, basically over Halloween, so we could record this album together. We were not just recording the album, I pulled out my green screen that's bigger than my entire apartment, and we were filming video content, and we were doing everything from shooting pictures for the cover to promos to music videos that are going to be coming out soon. So it was fast and tornado-like.
Yeah.
But it was awesome because Halloween is my Christmas.
Yeah.
And the pandemic said, no, girl, you will not have fun on Halloween. So we tried to take it back into the light, and we made Halloween a studio day, and we recorded the Joyful Project.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. What? How about for you, Marissa? What was? I mean, sort of the same experience, but did you? How was it for you in this pandemic to record?
It was awesome. I mean, it was scary for me at first because it was my first long-term journey back into Manhattan. So I'd come back and forth just to like kind of check on the apartment. But this was the first time I was like staying a couple of days and things like that and taking the subway and just moments like that. It's like all these firsts. And I was like, I want to keep him safe. I want to keep me safe. But then once we were together and once we were in our pod, I mean, it was what we'd missed. We spend tons of time together, and this was an excuse to just spend as much time together until it was absolutely done. And Marty and I are one of those people that do 900 things at once.
Yes.
And this was like in actuality 900 things at once. We're like, well, we'll record this for now, then we'll record this for later. And if we don't get to see each other here, we'll do 6 videos for here and then this for this. So put on 8 different costumes. And I was like, I need sleep. And I forget that I don't sleep when I'm with Marty. So we got a lot done. Yeah, you don't sleep when you're with Marty either. But it was, it was easy because we were in the comfort of his home studio. So we weren't too worried about, anyone else being there or time limit or being comfy or having a snack. We were able to kind of do it at our own pace. That's why it felt like it had so much love in it, because we didn't have to adhere to any rules.
Yeah. And we kept grabbing my boyfriend, who was acting as our house mom that day. We kept grabbing him to pull him over to do little asides. He would count. There's this counting section leading up to the 8 days of Christmas and 8 days of Hanukkah. Christmas was not involved at all, just so you know. The 8 days of Hanukkah, they were counting, and I made him scream numbers over and over and over and over again until he was hoarse. And he was so excited about creating a Halloween menu for us.
Oh,
he made little bat-shaped ham and cheese sandwiches, and he made, what else did he make?
He made mummy jalapeno poppers. He made apple cider in apples, like poured out apples
to make little cups for the apple cider made.
I was like,
oh my God.
Do I have to be in a pandemic for you to continue to do this for me?
Yes.
Yes.
You had your own Halloween party. I love it.
It was so cute. And everyone was like, oh, you're having a party? I was like, no, we're just hungry. Like, nobody else is here.
That's so fun, though. You got to at least enjoy yourself and have a little bit of festivities with what you did. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Have a good time together. And I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Marissa. We haven't really said this out loud, but for me, last year Marissa made her Broadway debut. She debuted with Kristen Chenoweth in her Broadway show. Yes. And Marissa's career has really started to blossom and blow up in the last couple of years. And it's a lot of mine and Marissa's friendship has stemmed around gigging regularly together. And we can always count on seeing each other and hanging out during a rehearsal process and a gig process. And it was just interesting when she really started getting as busy as I am, that our lives were taking us in 2 different directions. And then a pandemic hit and we couldn't physically see each other. So this project was a joy project on so many levels, in that I love the product. We had a good time doing it. And I feel like it really cemented and reaffirmed a great friendship in my life that brought us back to that place where we talk 6 times a day. Sometimes for no reason at all other than what you doing. And I love that about Marissa.
Oh, I love that. Well, Marissa, I actually got to see you in your Broadway debut. I was at and saw Kristen Chenoweth. Yeah. And you were very good. You were very, very good. So
thank you so much. It was such a treat.
It really was. So you mentioned about being best friends, and you are known as Broadway's best friends. Tell me about your relationship as best friends and how it sort of came to fruition. How did you meet each other, and sort of how has it blossomed since then?
Dance battle, your turn.
Okay, my turn. We have 2 very similar stories. They just differ a little. So we let each other tell our version every once in a while. a very, very snowy day in February of 2011. We differ on years, whether it's been 10 years or 11 years or 17 years. We were both at a bar called Therapy, and we were seeing the incomparable Rochelle Rack perform in a lace onesie, doing some dance wonderfulness. And then my friends and I were going over to this new bar called Industry. Who knew that would be that was ever a new bar? You know what I mean? It feels like we lived there. And we went there and we were hanging out, and there's that a famed pool table right in the front of the bar. And my favorite dance move ever, I love the stank face. Like, it's just the go-to. I can't do any dance moves without it. And I do that with like a little bit of like a lunge. And my friends and I had probably had some like Diet Cokes on the rocks, too many. And I'm doing my dance move and I look across the table and there is a very handsome homosexual man right across the pool table doing the exact same dance as me. And little did I know it was Marty Thomas. And we were like, oh, you. And then we kind of like reeled each other over and had that fun conversation that you have in bars where you're like, oh my God, we're the best of friends. And we kept in touch a little bit, obviously on Facebook, and those things kind of dwindle. And Marty was in My Big Gay Italian Wedding off-Broadway at the time. And I was celebrating a callback of a show, which is the reason I was out that evening with my friends. And I went to see the show, and Marty saw me in the lobby and was like, I know you. Are you here to see me? And like, if you would ask me that now, I'd be like, no, girl. But of course I was like, oh my God, yeah, weird. I was like, I'll talk to you afterwards. And then it turns out that the callback was for My Big Gay Italian Wedding, and I was going into the show that week. So magically fate allowed us to be in this show together. And then slowly but surely we found out that we lived 10 blocks away from each other. We went to the same gym. We just had all these weird, like coincidental fate moments. And we were like, how have we never seen each other, heard of each other, been around each other? And so we would have sleepovers every single night for probably like 5 years, and we would play 20 questions so that we knew everything about each other's life. And it wasn't for a little while that we started like working together in during Diva and things like that, but the rest is kind of history. So
Love that.
Yeah.
Wow, what a beautiful special friendship. I mean, wow, I love that.
We like
We're
each other.
Special, Marissa.
Yeah, my mom says that too.
So where can we, when is the award-winning holiday album available? Is it currently available for us?
Right now, everywhere.
Yes. Where can we find it?
Well, you can find physical copies of the album, which is an artist celebrating small business every day. We appreciate the support of buying physical copies. I know that people don't buy physical CDs quite as often now, but we had some really beautiful cover art done that was very special, very indicative of our friendship, done by Jared Bodie out of Atlanta, a good friend of ours who's designed stuff for us for many years. Beautiful. And we just love the physical design of the CD. So I encourage you to visit my website, martythomas.com/shop. We started our own record label to be able to release this record.
Wow.
So Candy Cane Records lives in the corner of my Hell's Kitchen apartment. And, and you can find a physical CD there, including autographed copies, which we have only a few left of, by the way. But if you want one, go find it. And then you can find it on iTunes, which we appreciate, where you can buy the record and you can stream it literally everywhere.
Yeah.
That's so great. And Marissa, can we also find it on your website as well? Or
we're working on it. Marty yells at me every day, but you can find it on my Instagram at the Marissa Rosen, which has much more traction than my website ever has. But it will soon be available at marissarosen.com.
Her website was freshly updated 7 years ago.
I do like the design of your website, though, Marissa. I do have to say, it is real. I do like it. It is kind of cute.
Thank you. I love it. It was just one of those things where, you needed the website as an actor and it had everything I needed on it. And then all of a sudden social media blew up and like everything I ever did, I did on there. And I was like, oh yeah, I pay for a website.
I don't know how to log in. Every once in a while, I'll enter her email address and hit the button, I forgot my password, and hope that it goes to her and she'll get the hint. Nope, never. Several years ago, our good friend Kate Lumpkin, who's a kindred to me because she's good at everything.
Everything.
She's lived so many lives. She's now a very, very, very well-known casting director and a guru within the community of how to do just anything. I can't wait for her to write a book. But at the time, she was honing her skills as a photographer and a designer, and she designed Marissa's website to help build her career, which I thought was awesome. And as Kate's career really started to flare, she sent all of the information to Marissa to update it, and Marissa dropped the ball.
I'm not sure I ever had the ball. Like the ball was like somewhere.
It was Marissa adjacent. I
threw the ball. I threw the ball. I'll find it.
There are ways to get back into websites. I just cannot figure out what the mental block is with Marissa and that website. So if anybody out there is a psychologist,
Marty, can you put him on? Can you turn him off? Anyway,
this is like the debate. My time is up.
I love it. No, well, Marty, your site is just as sharp. I mean, yours is very fresh as well and sharp. I do like yours too. So both have wonderful sites, and there's obviously different things about each one. But you know.
mine is recent. That's what makes them different.
Oh no!
Is mine has been touched this decade.
Oh my God, I love that. So, with this being a holiday album, what is your favorite time about the holidays? What do you like most about the holidays? Obviously, this holiday is much different for everyone, but generally, what do you like about the holidays?
Presents.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I could say more. I actually am very thrilled this year to get to be home for Hanukkah. I do talk about how special it is to be, have traditions and light the menorah and just be around family and not have to do that thing where we're in the city and we're like, I can come home for 24 hours and I can have dinner with you for an hour. And so this is one of those where it gets to be super special. And the online shopping is real this year. That is all I will say.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Big time.
I grew up in a very religious family. So Christmas had such a deep connotation beyond just presents and family. It was also a very deeply religious holiday. So on so many levels, that became a huge holiday in the Thomas family home. That and Easter were giant because they have such deep religious roots.
Yeah.
And since it was such a big holiday, we did it all out. We went in. Christmas Eve would always be at my grandma Alice's house, and all the extended cousins would come. And it was the kind of party that, as a kid, feels like it's probably making tri-state news. And people are probably watching it on Twitch, even though it was 1980 something. It really felt like a very glamorous event. And my greatest Christmas memory, which is probably so dumb, but I feel like my cousins will agree. My grandma Alice had this crystal punch bowl that only came out for Christmas. And she would make this fancy punch that it was later, in my later years, I found out it was vanilla ice cream and Fanta.
Oh.
But at the time, it felt like it was something like mother's milk from the Garden of Eden. It was magical, like fizzy and ice creamy and delicious. And it felt like an adult beverage, and everybody got a little glass mug, even the kids.
Oh.
It honestly felt like that's what living is. I'm living now that grandma's got the Fanta punch out.
I love that. Fanta and ice cream. Wow.
Who
I
knew?
feel like we're going to make that and then you're going to make me drink that.
Oh, I've got the recipe.
I was going to say, that sounds like a great holiday drink and super easy too, especially for everyone in quarantine. I mean, get something like that and some ice. Wow.
And for all those years, I thought it was the fanciest drink ever. And I didn't learn until I was well into my 30s that I was lactose intolerant.
Oh.
Very lactose intolerant.
I love it. You finish each other's sentences, you're like, it.
Yeah, it's never going to stop him. So don't worry. If you have dairy and you want to send it to Marty, he'll eat it.
Yeah, I can't eat it, but if there's a cheese wheel, watch out. It shan't be around long.
I love that.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
what advice do you have for performers who want to release their album or music of their own but don't know where to start?
Don't do it.
No, Marty. Marty.
It's such a different world now. When I first started releasing music, Googling to find answers just weren't a thing. But, in late 2020, being able to find information for a streaming podcast like what you do, information wasn't as readily available as it is now last March. So as things develop and more people do this, it gets easier and easier. There are so many awesome resources online. If you think you've got a stupid question, I guarantee you several million people have asked it well before you. So Google that. It's just so much easier. As much as I hate streaming platforms like Spotify, I also am obsessed with them because that's the way that music is consumed right now. So in a streaming world, we're able to, as independent artists, have international distribution. If you just educate yourself on how to follow the rules and how to properly license your material and how to properly copyright your material. And there's, especially during a pandemic, there are plenty of musicians and small businesses who desperately need your support. So if you can team up and create something really awesome, you can find a lot of people who are also desperate to create right now. And if you have a lot of money and you'd like to see Marissa and I record another album, we would very much like to speak with you because we are still trying to pay for this one.
Yeah.
I hope somebody's listening because I would like to get another album from both of you too. So I'm sure we all would love another album. So
I've got a lot of ideas. So Batman, if you're listening, give me a call.
And you are the master of ideas, Marty. So, I'm sure you have so many ideas in the head. And I'm excited to see what comes of it.
I'm telling you, if I won the lottery or Survivor, I could record till the end of my life because I've got so many ideas cooking in my head and I'm hindered only by finances.
You mentioned Spotify and streaming. As an artist, what have you how has Spotify worked for you as an artist? I mean, obviously I know there's been a big debate about streaming over getting a physical copy or iTunes. What has streaming done both for you as an artist, both positive and, maybe also not so positive as well? Because I think I was reading the other day that this per stream, the artists, I don't think, no matter who you are, they don't get paid a lot per stream.
It's next to nothing. You have to stream millions and millions of streams to make even penance. So, the streaming sites, there was a reason that many artists stepped up and spoke out about Napster and spoke out about some of the early download and streaming sites. They got a lot of flack for it, but what they were doing was it had foresight. They were trying to prevent the market from getting to where it is today, where artists are treated like hobbyists. And hearing so many people in the media and hearing so many people around the country telling artists to find something else to do in response to a pandemic and an arts community being decimated is disgusting. And I think that that's partially due to the how streaming sites have trivialized what it is to be an artist and made it even more difficult. However, on the flip, there's always balance. The yang to that yin is I am able to be internationally distributed as an artist instantly, and I'm able to run my own record label because of streaming sites and that ability to market and distribute yourself digitally. At the end of the year, I got to see that my last album, Slow Dancing with a Boy on Broadway Records, was streamed in something like 83 countries last year. You can't tour that fast as a large artist, much less as an independent artist who isn't getting booked constantly around the world like that.
Right.
But to be able to know that you're being streamed in Indonesia and the Philippines and in Hawaii that's rad. So if you're performing live, if that's a thing, fingers crossed, 2021.
Yeah.
The outreach is amazing because you can start building a fan base and building a booked calendar based on your music. So there are pros and cons, definitely.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting. I was always very curious about that. Well, we've had some active comments from Michelle. She's wonderful. She's saying hello to you all, and such a sweet story. And if there's
Thanks, Michelle.
Michelle, I'm gonna take your picture. That was so sweet. I don't know how to use the phone, but I'm gonna take your picture, Michelle. That's so cute. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Marissa, this is for you. This is from Steven from the Indianapolis.
Hey! Oh, Steven is a super talent. He just a beautiful voice and a wonderful human being. And I'm so glad you're here.
Dina, in your picture, Steven?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God. Yes, it is. I think so. Wow.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I'm so glad you guys are here.
Oh, yes. And thank you for the comments, everyone. All right. Well, as we get ready to wrap up, is there anything that you would like to leave us with? Anything that you would like to say, or maybe something I didn't touch on that you would like to speak about?
Yes, I'd like to leave you with my debt. I'd appreciate it if you'd take that on, right?
Oh, I don't do that.
No.
I know that Marissa can speak more on it than I can, but we're awfully grateful for the support that we receive around the year, and especially right now with this album. Thank you so much to all of you who have streamed the record, especially those who have who have purchased a physical copy. We'd love it if you'd take a picture of that and post it so we can connect with you and thank you and give you public recognition and props, because we are so grateful that during tough times you can find it in your heart to support this fun little dream that we had of recording together. Riss?
Yeah, I just thank you. As my first album ever, I get to do it with my best friend and sing holiday music, which is, who doesn't love holiday music? So this is definitely a scary moment for me, because I'm one of those humans that's like, no, I don't need to hear it. I'm sure it's great. Okay, good. You guys have fun with it. So to be able to feel comfortable and know that we put something out there that had so much love that we're really proud of is super exciting. And to have the support of y'all is incredible. So just thanks and keep listening. And that's it.
Well, you two are so incredible, and you have such a big fan base. Everyone I speak to loves you both. So I'm so happy you did this. I love Christmas music, so I am going to be jamming to this for sure. I love adding another Christmas album song to my to my many list. And now that it's acceptable because we're in December, I can't wait to have it on replay for sure.
You're right. And to those of you out there who wonder how you can support artists in a digital time, it is so important to be added to playlists. So if you've got a Spotify holiday playlist for your family, for your friends, it might seem really trivial to you, but artists really appreciate being included in that lineup and that roster. It really helps an artist's music to get heard and to get streamed by more fans. So if you'd like to support, we'd throw that Hanukkah bop that Marissa Rosen recorded into your Hanukkah playlist and get the party started.
Yeah. And now, do you see what playlist you all get added to, or?
Yes, we do. And we loved it. We actually made our own little playlist. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on the socials, but you can find Marissa Rosen's Hanukkah Magic playlist and Marty Thomas's Big Broadway Christmas playlist right now on the Spotify that we've included a couple of our tracks. And of course, a lot of tracks of our good friends and our favorite musicians.
I love that. Well, Marty and Marissa, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for creating an album in such this dark time that we're in and giving some joy to us. And I look forward to 2021, and I hope that we can see each other in person. And I can't wait to see you both perform again live in person. And you both are incredible. So thank you so much for doing this.
I'm going to hug that neck, guys. Hug that neck.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was